What's up, YouTube? It's the Console Samurai with Grown Ups Gaming. And, we've actually had a pretty busy day over at E3. Unfortunately, I'm not at E3. I'd love to be there, but I'm here in my game room, as always. Uh, really would like to be at E3. But we've had a very busy day, watching all the live streams and stuff like that. And there's some big news coming. We saw a lot of Microsoft. We saw some EA. We saw a little bit of Ubisoft. Um, they teased some pretty good looking games for Microsoft. Obviously, Halo 5 came to E3, and we got to see a little bit of that. And never having been a real huge Halo fan, it only did so much for me. But it looks pretty cool. They have a new multiplayer version multiplayer mode, excuse me, called Warzone, which is not like the previous multiplayers. It's actually, they've taken the scope of that multiplayer and they've taken it way out of proportion. Because instead of just being, two characters, 1 versus 1 or 2 versus 2 or whatever, this is going to be 12 versus 12, I believe they said. It's not. It's going to have all the same. Vehicles from before. It's going to have more. It's going to have artillery. They're just going all out with this. They're really taking advantage of what the Xbox One can do. And they also showed Gears of War 4, which again, not a big. I'm not a huge Gears of War fan because honestly, I'm not really a big FPS fan. But it did look good. It looked kind of interesting. I enjoyed watching the trailer. They also showed Tomb Raider, which looked good. I forget what the full name is. I think Legend of Tomb Raider. Anyway, but with all the cool games they showed, and they did show for retro game enthusiasts, they showed the Rare Rewind or Replay. I forget what it's called. They've taken all the Rare games from way back in the day, all the way back to Battletoads on the NES, and they're putting them onto, I believe, Xbox One. I don't think it's coming to Xbox 360. But you know what? That doesn't really matter, because all the games they showed, the things that really stood out to me were the hardware announcements. Things like the Xbox One actually is going to be the one to get backwards compatibility. Which, if you remember some of my previous videos, I've been pushing for this. I think this is an amazing thing. I think backwards compatibility really would change everything for Xbox if they're the ones that come out with it. And granted, we haven't seen PlayStation yet. PlayStation's coming up later tonight. We haven't seen any announcements. They may be doing the same thing. But for right now, Xbox One has announced that they are doing backwards compatibility. Hundreds of Xbox 360 games will be playable, both the disc version and the downloadable version, which definitely puts them into a position where they could easily overtake PlayStation if they play their cards right. Now again, I don't know if it's going to be all of them. I really doubt it will be all of them. And I don't know if it's going to be original Xbox games. I kind of doubt that, although I think they probably could do that. This is all going to be achieved through software emulation, which me and many other YouTubers have been saying. I don't understand why you can't do that. You say you can't do it, but there's no reason you can't. Well, apparently Xbox said, all right, fine, you called us on our bullshit, we're going to do it. So that's really cool. I'm really looking forward to that. I'd like to see whether the save files will be able to be transferred, because that would be much better. But another hardware announcement that I thought was really cool was we got to kind of see a little bit of a demo of HoloLens and what it can do, but only as far as Minecraft, which, believe me, Minecraft is a great game to showcase what it can do. You got to see what the user was seeing through a camera that was somehow interfaced with the HoloLens. It was awesome. The user was manipulating it, moving the map around with just his hands, and you could actually see it. And if it really works like that, HoloLens is going to be, it could actually be a game changer. It's expensive as hell, but it's going to be pretty cool. The other hardware thing I thought was pretty cool. Xbox announced that they're coming out with a kind of a modular controller. It's called the Elite controller, and it is kind of customizable. There are flippers you can add to the back because there's little ports on the back. You can switch out thumbsticks. You can switch out directional pads. It is not fully customizable, but it is damn close. And that's really cool because people who are kind of hardcore and they want specialized controllers, but don't necessarily want to order them to be custom built for them, would kind of like to be able to just tweak them a little bit. This is a perfect middle ground for them. But we did see some pretty cool games. I really do think the hardware was the coolest thing that we saw. But we also saw EA tonight, or actually this afternoon. We saw a little bit of the new Garden Warfare game, which if you are a player of the current Garden Warfare and you want to buy the new one, they have announced that they're going to migrate all of your current games, all your characters you've unlocked, and they're also going to keep all the DLC free. They say that if you've invested in their game, they're going to invest right back in the gamer. All the DLC will be free for Garden Warfare 2. Of course, that may change in the future, but that is currently the plan. And the other thing that EA announced, they're actually coming out with an expansion for Star Wars: The Old Republic, the free-to-play MMO game, obviously in the Star Wars universe. The expansion, I believe, is going to be free. Of course, the subscription is still going to be free. I played that game, and it was kind of interesting. It didn't really catch my attention, but based on what I saw in the trailer for this expansion, it looks pretty badass. I may come back. But anyway, I'll figure that out one other day. But tell me what you think. Did you get a chance to watch E3? Did you see any of the streams? What stood out to you? Tell me what you think in the comments down below. Once again, I am the Console Samurai, and I'll see you around. And PlayStation will be up very shortly, and I will try to make a video and have that up for you guys nice and early tomorrow. Once again, I'll see you around.